Hey everyone, my name is Meera. Welcome back to my channel. If you've been interested in reviewing books but haven't started doing so, I think you're going to find this video really helpful. Or even if you're a book reviewer already, you'll definitely benefit from watching this video because today I'm going to share with you all the pointers and benchmarks I use while rating and reviewing books. So there's a couple of different ways that I go about it. I have rated Aisha at Last by Usma Jalaluddin and The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, both 3.5 stars, but they most definitely don't mean the same thing. So I'll start by telling you what exactly each number on the 5-point rating scale means for me. I used to rate books out of 10, but then I decided that it was too complex of a rating system for me and I'm better able to express myself when I rate books out of 5. I usually reserve a 1-star rating for books that I've DNF'd, which is to say books that I did not finish. It was a struggle to get through. Even if I've managed to read the first 10 chapters or so, there was simply nothing about the book that motivated me to continue reading. So in that case, I usually rate these kinds of books 1 star. A 2-star rating means that the book was quite bad, but I somehow got through it. There may have been 1 or 2 elements at most in the book which persuaded me to continue reading, but on the whole there's just so much that I didn't like about it or I thought could have been different, could have been improved. A 3-star rating means different things for me at times. It could either be that the book was very moderate or an average read, or it could also mean that I enjoyed reading the book quite a bit but it just wasn't extraordinary. Sometimes the books that I don't enjoy a lot but they redeem themselves towards the end because they have a really good ending, they also receive 3-star ratings. A 4-star read means that it's an excellent book. Most of it worked for me. The plot, the themes, the characters were all great. There may have been 1 or 2 aspects of the book that irked me, but nothing large enough to undermine my reading experience. A 5-star read is a spectacular book. It's an out of this world book. It is a book that I will spend the rest of my life convincing people to read. Because of how critical I have become of the content I'm reading, I don't rate a lot of books 5 stars. Even if everything's perfect, I usually rate them 4.5. But there are a few books here and there that will be just so mesmerizing and so brilliant that I cannot help but give them a 5-star rating. So if in recent times I've rated any book 5 stars, you best believe that I loved it so much, I don't think anything could have been better in it. So that's how I make sense of the 5-point rating scale on which I rate books. In my opinion, some books should be read for pure entertainment purposes and others are to be read because of how much knowledge they provide you with or the experiences that they talk about, the impact that they have. Some books truly have the potential to bring about a change in your life, in who you are as a person, and shape your perspective about life. A 4-star rating for a chick lit like Confessions of a Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella, or a 5-star rating for a rom-com like The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren simply means that I had a gala time reading these books. It is in no way to say that these are classic and timeless pieces of literature. I don't mean to look down on these books when I say that. Whereas a book like The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, it deserves every bit of the 5-star rating. In fact, I think that the 5-star rating just doesn't do justice to this book because it's so engaging and captivating, but I wouldn't call it entertaining. It's powerful and raw and it speaks to so many people about important topics like oppression and injustice. I'm not trying to say that a book like The Unhoneymooners doesn't deserve the 5-star rating or that it's bad in any way compared to The Handmaid's Tale. All I'm trying to convey to you is that they are 2 very different kinds of books that serve 2 very different kinds of purposes. I wouldn't compare them on the same level or platform because that wouldn't be fair to either of the books. Sometimes the reread value of a book also plays into how I rate and review it. So a book like Pride and Prejudice or Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, these books may have flaws and things that didn't sit well with people, but they struck a chord with me and I love them enough to reread them multiple times, so I have done that. Another thing is that if a book disturbs me or bothers me on a moral standpoint, then I try not to let it impact my rating and try to see the bigger picture because these kinds of books will always be received or thought about in different ways by different people. So I try to see if it serves some purpose or not. But if I feel like some book is going to have a negative impact, if it's going to influence people negatively, if it's going to make them feel bad about themselves, then it receives a lower rating. taking into consideration translated works, I haven't read a lot of them. But reviewing translated books is always a dicey thing because you're not only rating and reviewing the author's work, but the translator's efforts as well. So the main thing I look for is this sense of authenticity that still remains even after the text has undergone translation. Sometimes I felt that in an attempt to translate more accurately, somehow the essence of what the author had written can get lost. In that case, I usually just mention that in my review. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the parameters I use while reviewing books. In the case of a fiction book, there are 5 things that I take note of: plot, plot execution, themes, characters, and USP. Under plot, I look for whether there are cliches, whether there are a lot of stereotypes, is it unique, is there an innovative idea, is there something that thrills me. As for plot execution, I consider what the writing style is like, are there other elements other than text, basically the whole narrative style, how the story gets told to us. Is there any way that the story is not living up to the expectations that the plot creates, or is the synopsis misleading in any way? So that's what comes under plot execution for me. Then themes are basically the concepts, topics, subject matters that are explored in the book. Characters, I look for characters that are refreshing and realistic, whether these characters fall flat or there's not enough development. And basically USP is what's unique about the entire book. What is the 1 or 2 thing that definitely makes it a worthwhile read? So that's what I consider in USP. I don't read a lot of non-fiction books, but when I do, the couple of things that I keep in mind are how enlightening or informative a book is, the tone of the book, does it read very textbookish, or is the information delivered in a more fluid way so that it makes for a better reading experience. Then the writing style, is the book written in a colloquial manner, where it feels like the author is talking directly to the reader, or is it written in a more formal manner. And the USP of the book, which is to say what's so special about it, why should people pick it up. So those were the parameters that I use while reviewing fiction and non-fiction books. I even told you about my 5-point rating system. I have been reviewing books for around 7 years now, and it's always a process of experimenting with different methods that work for me. As of now, this is what works for me. I'm pretty sure it may be different for some of you. If you're a reviewer, I would really like to know whether your method's anything like mine or how you do things differently. So please let me know in the comments. This video is probably really long by now, but I'm so glad that I spoke about how I rate and review books. It's been something I'm passionate about, and so yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Take a look at my previous upload, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!